So I just seen a post that said single moms be having all these standards and they baby daddy meets none of them. Like, of course, he was the lesson. Now she knows what to look for in a man and what not to look for. She stood on business and she moved on. Next subject.
Are y'all listening to these women? Wait. How is he the lesson, but y'all got a whole kid out of it? So is the kid the lesson too? Listen, bro. And then it's so funny because if you go to the comments of these videos that y'all be sending me, they actually think that they make sense. Let me play it one more time for the people in the back just so y'all can understand what we dealing with here.
So I just seen a post that said single moms be having all these standards and they baby daddy meets none of them. Like,
Single moms have all these standards and their baby daddies meet none of them. I want y'all to hear this. Why is that not true? So you telling me that all of this time that we've had to be able to source through the information and to learn lessons of the people that came before us and your friends and your family and the internet and social media and people in yesteryear and your uncle and your daddy and your great grandfather and the chick that was in school that got pregnant early, you're telling me through all of this time, we in 2024, after the death of Christ, and we say marry before you carry, and this is what you need to do in order to vet effectively. And you were unable to do that to the point to where you had children out of wedlock and you had zero standards when you were at the top of the totem pole as far as the value that you brought into a relationship or into a person that would then potentially marry you in the future, right? Let's continue.
like, of course, he was the lesson. Now,
So the nigga that didn't give a fuck about you and skeeted in you and won't even really care about what it is that's going on with your kid, because I'm gonna just tell you, I'm territorial. Like, I'm incredibly territorial over my wife slash mother of my child. As a matter of fact, I'm so territorial that any person that's around me at the time, it could be my mom, it could be a friend, it could be an employee, a female employee. I'm so territorial that anything that happens with you, when you with me, you then become my responsibility. Can't nobody come around, can't nobody do nothing, ain't nobody, no. When you with me, you mines, right? And when I say you're mine, that means I become responsible for you. And so the way that I view you, that means that I care so much about you that I'm not going to let nothing happen to you. And then as a result, I'm also not going to let anything happen to my kid that I have with you. Because now you've achieved a certain status that is above everything else because you're the mother of my child. And you're saying that he's the lesson. Think about this for a minute, y'all. They crash dummies. Literally, they test crash dummies. And they just bust it open. They be in these indoctrination camps called college, and they slut it out. And I seen a chick the other day said every woman should have a whole face. And then you the dummy. And I see so many guys, so many men that come up and they say, yo, listen, it's okay. The value in her is, listen, she didn't even value herself, but you value her more than she valued herself. So you gonna be the fool that then have to interact with another man's child, and then that man also, because she's tied to him basically for the rest of her life, as a result of the child that she had with him. Yes. And in a way, they are always going to be forever connected because he had a seed that grew in her stomach. And you think it makes more sense for you to align yourself with a package deal than getting something originally out the package. In no place that I've ever been in my life do people prefer when they have the resources. Let's say you had $100,000 cash that you had set aside to go and buy a vehicle, and you could buy any vehicle that you want that was $100,000 or less, right? And money was no object, but that's the money that you allocated for that. Meaning that that's exactly what you want. You won't drive it. You plan on keeping it for forever. And, you're not going to trade it in. None of that. This is the vehicle that you're going to roll with for forever, right? And you're going to pass it down to your kid or whatever, right? It may even be an artifact. I don't know. Who knows? It's not going to be traded in. This is the one you got to roll with. I know nobody that goes to the rental car company and get that car. Not preferably. They may have to settle for it. They may not be able to afford anything else. But I don't know anybody that goes and get the rental car and say, yeah, this is the one. The one that everybody dogged out. Man, don't you know how they treat rental car? Especially if the rental car is an exotic. If it's something that's dope. Come on, man. I hope y'all catching the metaphor here. Nope. They dog those cars out. Like they go hard on those cars. Stomp them out, dog them out, do burnouts, bust chicks down in them in the whole 9 yards. Ain't nobody taking care of no rental car because they know it ain't theirs. It's just their turn. Real talk. Listen to what she's saying.
She knows what to look for in a man and what not to look for.
And you the person that's going to then suffer as a result of it because she's looking for the best available option now that she's been experienced and been used up. And you the person that's going to come in and save her. Now, why would I ever advocate for my young guys to ever go and be a step crash dummy? Because you the test dummy. Why would I ever do that? And so now you got to go back and forth. He got to come to you. Man, this is crazy.
She stood on business and she moved on. Next subject.
And they willing to break up their families and they looking at you with the big eyes acting like you the crazy ones. She stood on business and moved on. Like we don't know what's best for children. Like we can't vet for and say, you know what? What's best for children is for them to be raised in a 2-parent household with their original parents. And so instead of us going back and proactively solving for and vetting for and making sure that people are married and that they actually have a real commitment to what success looks like for their family and to say, hey, man, hold you accountable, get back with your step baby daddy. We got all of these crazy chicks that's in the comments of these people videos. And, I'm always going to link back in the description because I like to give content creators their credit for whatever content that we reacting to that y'all send me. But the fact of the matter is that they are not holding each other accountable and say, hey, man, we got to do better. Hey, man, what are we teaching people? And then it's going to be some young girl that think that and validate all of their opinions based off of these popularity videos. And you telling me that we not supposed to continue to have a conversation and hold these people accountable for the decisions that they're making every day. Bullshit. Absolutely not. And they looking at you like you crazy because you don't want a package deal. And I'm looking at them like they crazy because they keep advocating for you to be a step dummy. Wow, man. Listen, I'm curious as to what y'all think in the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description, as well as pinned to the top of the chat. We got Stock Club this weekend. It's going up. And so if you're not a part of the Patreon, the best time to join is the beginning of the month, which is now. And we're going to run it up. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say about this one. Crazy, bro.